The Sickness of Sectarianism, Part 17. Taf-seir of Surah Al-Baqarah. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Sufi Essence. In our last session, we concluded our discussion on the universal criteria for salvation, a profound and liberating truth that refutes all claims of exclusivity and entitlement based on lineage or affiliation. We learned that the true path to Allah lies in sincere submission, Islam, and a life of beautiful good ihsan. Today our journey through Surah Al-Baqarah takes a piercing look at the spiritual sickness of sectarianism and the profound injustice of those who would prevent the remembrance of Allah in His houses of worship. These verses offer a timeless warning against a prideful and exclusionary faith and a powerful affirmation of the sanctity of all places of prayer. The Qur'an begins this section by exposing the deep-seated spiritual disease of sectarianism that plagued the people of the book. Wakalati al-yardu lasadi al-nagrib. Elb shayan wakalati al-nagrib. Lasadi al-yardu al-bi. Al-biadu al-bi. Halmiatlana al-kitba. Kadanlika kwala aladna. Elya. Lamna. Mithla kavlihim. Faulahim. Falhu. Yakumo banaham. Yama al-kiyamati. FMD, Kanur, Fui, Yaktalufen. And the Jews say, the Christians are on nothing, and the Christians say, the Jews are on nothing, while they both recite the scripture. Thus spoke those who do not know, similar to their statement. But Allah will judge between them on the day of resurrection, concerning that over which they used to differ. This verse is a profound psychological and spiritual diagnosis. Perfectly captures the futility and arrogance of sectarianism. The Jews claimed that the Christians were on nothing. Lasadi al-Nagrib al-Bshayan, meaning they had no sound basis for their religion. Conversely, the Christians made the exact same claim against the Jews. Lasadi al-Yardu al-Bshayan, that their religion was no longer valid. The profound irony and the source of their spiritual sickness is contained in the next phrase, Wahum yatalina al-Kitba. While they both recite the scripture, both groups claim to be followers of a divine book, a source of truth, yet they spent their time in bitter dispute, completely undermining the very spirit of the revelation they claim to possess. This is the essence of sectarianism, a focus on proving the other wrong rather than a sincere search for truth and unity. The spiritual path is about finding Allah, not about winning an argument. The verse then makes an insightful comparison. Linking the people of the book to the polytheists, Kudanlika Kualaladna, Elia Lamna Mithla Kavlihim. Thus spoke those who do not know, similar to their statement. This phrase likens the people of the book's sectarianism to the ignorance of the polytheists, who had no divine book at all. It is a damning comparison, suggesting that their knowledge of a divine book did not make them more enlightened. Rather, their pride and arrogance had made them spiritually no better than those who were ignorant of divine revelation. They had become so entangled in their own disputes that they had lost sight of the universal truth that their own scriptures contained. The verse concludes with a powerful reminder of ultimate divine justice. Falhu, Yakumu Banaham, Yalma Alkimati, FMDK, KNG, Fui, Yakalufin, but Allah will judge between them. On the day of resurrection, concerning that over which they used to differ, this is a profound and comforting truth.
Ow.
The disputes and debates of this world are temporary. The ultimate arbiter, the one who possesses all knowledge and justice, is Allah. It is a powerful lesson for all believers. We are not the ultimate judges of one another. We should leave the judgment of hearts and intentions to Allah, focus on our own spiritual journey, and strive for sincerity, because ultimately, Allah will be the one who sorts out all the differences on the day of resurrection. The Qur'an then pivots to a second related form of injustice, one that is a profound spiritual crime, the desecration of places of worship. Waman, Alamu, Miman, Mana, a masjida, al-hi, and udkara, fabius mahu, wa, sagf karbib. Gloika, md kana, laham, anyad kalayab, il kai fena. Laham. Efal dunyu, kizun wa, lahom, efal kikiati, adbun, agm. And who is more unjust than one who prevents the mosques of Allah from being mentioned therein of His name, and strives for their ruin? those who do so should not enter them except as fearful of Allah. For them in this world is disgrace, and for them in the hereafter is a great punishment. This verse is a powerful and unequivocal condemnation of those who would prevent the worship of Allah and seek to destroy His places of remembrance. The verse begins with a rhetorical question. Wa man alamu, and who is more unjust? The answer, implied and powerful, is no one. There is no greater injustice than preventing people from connecting with their Creator. The phrase, Masjida al-He, the mosques of Allah, is a general term that encompasses all places of prayer, not just the Kaaba. It is any place where the name of Allah is mentioned and remembered. The core spiritual crime here is preventing an udkara fabismahu from being mentioned therein of His name. The remembrance of Allah Dhikr is the ultimate purpose of all places of worship. The phrase, wa sagf karbib, and strives for their ruin, is a direct reference to those who would seek to destroy or desecrate these holy sites, an act of profound spiritual malevolence. From a Sufi perspective, this verse is a beautiful and a terrifying one. It is beautiful because it affirms the sanctity of all places where Allah's name is remembered. The spiritual crime here is not just an act of physical destruction. It is a spiritual act of trying to sever the connection between the human being and the divine. The mosque is a physical representation of the heart. To destroy a mosque is a reflection of a heart that is spiritually in ruins, a heart that has no place for the remembrance of Allah. The verse then pronounces a twofold divine punishment. The first is in this life. Gloika, MD, Kana, Lahom, Il-Kab, Ifina. Those who do so should not enter them except as fearful of Allah. This is a powerful and sobering statement. The one who tries to destroy a place of worship will, in the end, not have the spiritual courage to enter it except in a state of profound fear and humility. The second punishment is in the hereafter. Lahamef al-dunyu kizun wa, lahamef al-kakirati, et bun agm. For them in this world is disgrace, and for them in the hereafter is a great punishment. The word kizun, disgrace, refers to a public humiliation that is a direct consequence of their spiritual crime. The word adbun, agm, a great punishment, is a reminder that the spiritual crime of preventing the remembrance of Allah has severe and eternal consequences. My dear viewers, these verses offer a deep and timeless lesson on the dangers of a prideful, exclusionary faith and the profound sanctity of all places of worship. They teach us that sectarianism is a spiritual sickness that blinds us to the truth and consumes our hearts with useless disputes. They remind us to leave judgment to Allah and to focus on our own spiritual sincerity. They also teach us that the ultimate injustice is to prevent a person from connecting with their Creator and to destroy the physical places where that connection is made. May our hearts be free from sectarian pride and our intentions be pure, so that we may be among those who are sincere in our remembrance of Allah and respectful of all His places of worship. Join me in our next session as we continue our journey into the succeeding verses of this magnificent surah. Until then, may Allah bless you with ilm and yakin. Assalamu alaikum.